Hey everyone, this is your third stimulus check update, $1,400 stimulus check update, and stimulus package update for February 8th. This video is for those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits, and for anyone else wondering about the third stimulus check and stimulus package. I hope everyone had a great weekend. In this video, we will go over the details of the third stimulus check, who will be eligible, what the negotiations are right now, and what the timeline is for this third stimulus check. So make sure you stick around and so you don't miss anything. I want to welcome back those subscribed members of my community. We actually just hit 80,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for subscribing and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. For those of you that haven't subscribed or that are new here, my name is Justin. I do stimulus check updates, talk about your Social Security benefits, and teach you how to make money and save money. So if any of those topics interest you, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And if you find this content helpful, please hit the like button so that YouTube will share this video with others like you. So President Joe Biden has now been president for nearly 3 weeks. One of the biggest promises he made on the campaign trail was $2,000 stimulus checks. While it does appear that those $2,000 stimulus checks are not on the table at the moment, $1,400 stimulus checks are on the table. President Biden is claiming that the $1,400 stimulus checks, along with the $600 stimulus checks that were passed out or sent out in December, are the $2,000 stimulus checks that he was referring to on the campaign trail. $1,400 stimulus checks would be welcome news to millions of Americans who are still struggling because of the pandemic. However, some economists and lawmakers are concerned that sending out stimulus checks could be a waste of funds, especially if it's going out to those people that had no reduction in pay or income during the pandemic. And those same economists are arguing that the stimulus payments should go out to the hardest hit Americans. And many lawmakers in Washington are saying that stimulus checks and the overall relief bills are a waste of taxpayer dollars. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that the stimulus checks are a waste of taxpayer dollars, or do you think that they're a necessary thing that we should be sent out from the leaders in Washington? I would argue that stimulus checks are a good way to boost the economy compared to a lot of the other things that they are putting in the $1.9 trillion stimulus proposal. Stimulus checks do seem like the best use of the money as part of a stimulus package. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Stimulus checks? Do you think they're successful? Do you think they're useful? Or do you think they're a waste of money? So here are the details about the $1,400 stimulus checks. There have been a few changes that have been negotiated back and forth, and we're going to talk about those now. First off, as far as eligibility goes, there is a lot of talk about reducing the income limits from the previous stimulus income limits of $75,000 per year for single individuals and $150,000 per year for couples. These income thresholds, if they were lowered, would reduce the number of stimulus payments that would go out to individuals. But the theory is that they would target those people that were hurt most during the pandemic. The income threshold that seems to be talked about the most right now is moving it down to $50,000 per year for single individuals, or those filing single, and $100,000 per year for couples. This would exclude millions of Americans that received the first and second stimulus checks. However, even if these income thresholds were lowered, those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or VA benefits would still be eligible for these stimulus checks. And those of you that are on Social Security, you would still be eligible as long as you're below those income thresholds. From the latest I've seen, those of you that are adult dependents would be included on the third stimulus checks. All of the indications that I've seen are that the adult dependents who have been left out from the previous 2 stimulus checks, for those of you that are 17 and up and claimed on someone else's taxes and have been left out, it does sound like you should be included this time. Obviously, they are still hammering out details, so that could change. But at this point, it does look like you would be included. That would be huge news for many of the people that watch my channel and were so frustrated, as I was, that they were left out of the first and second stimulus checks just because somebody claimed them on their taxes. And I don't think that was fair at all. And I have a lot of other people that I've heard from in my channel that also agree that that is not fair, that if you're claimed on somebody else's taxes that you're left out of the stimulus checks. So the $1,400 stimulus checks at this point would go out to all individuals of any age, and that includes children under 17 and adults over 17. So as long as you're below the income limits, whatever those end up being, either $50,000 or $75,000 per year for singles, or $100,000 or $150,000 per year, depending on what they decide on the income limits, you would be receiving a third stimulus check of $1,400. Now, the reason why they're talking about lowering those income limits is because they're concerned about sending out stimulus checks to people that didn't really need those stimulus checks. Well, Bernie Sanders came out and said that he's concerned about lowering the income limits. People that are making just over $50,000 per year shouldn't see a reduced stimulus check. He did say high earners should be excluded. However, he did say, quote, "But to say a worker in Vermont or California or any other place that if you're making, $52,000 per year, you are too rich to get this help, the full benefit, and I think that's absurd." So Bernie Sanders doesn't want that income limit lowered. However, Joe Manchin, senator from West Virginia, is opposed to sending out more stimulus checks at the previous income thresholds. So the fact that Bernie Sanders is opposed to lowering the income threshold and Joe Manchin wants the income threshold lowered, that could prove to be a bit of a sticking point on this third stimulus check. The reason why it's so critical that all of the Democrats get on board with this is that there is a 50-50 split in the Senate. If all of the Democrats vote for it, all 50, and Kamala Harris votes for it as the tiebreaker vote, so they get 51 votes, they can pass the next stimulus package as part of a budget reconciliation. I'm not going to go over what a budget reconciliation is in this video, but basically, simply it means that they can pass with a simple majority, meaning 51 votes, versus what most bills need to pass, and that's 60 votes. They did pass a budget reconciliation last week, and so that should be ready for the coronavirus package to be fast-tracked through the House and the Senate. So the key is they will need to get at least 50 senators on board with whatever they decide on those income limits and everything else in the stimulus package. And the thing is, they could get a few Republican senators to jump on board as well. I know Josh Hawley before has been talking about they need $2,000 stimulus checks and that there should be more stimulus checks going out. And there probably are a few other Republicans that could jump on board if the stimulus package is not so huge. So we'll have to see how that goes over the next couple weeks. So let's talk about the stimulus check timeline. I think most people are wondering, when is this third stimulus check going to happen? Is it going to take like 8 months like the second stimulus check, or is it going to happen sometime soon? Joe Biden has promised a lot of things, and he promised if the Democrats won Georgia that $2,000 stimulus checks would be coming out and would be coming out soon. Well, the Democrats won Georgia, Joe Biden won the presidency, so theoretically, they all want to pass a stimulus package soon. Well, last week, Chuck Schumer did say, he kind of gave a timeline of what he thinks is going to happen for the next stimulus package. And Chuck Schumer said, "We'll try to get that passed in the next month or month and a half." So that would put it sometime in the middle of March or the end of March. Basically, so the third stimulus check wouldn't be coming until sometime mid to late March if Chuck Schumer is right. However, Nancy Pelosi late last week had a different timeline that bumped it even up a little bit closer than that. So on March 14th, there are some benefits that are going to expire from previous plans, from the plan that was passed back in December. And so Pelosi and some of the people in Washington are concerned that those benefits expiring, that needs to be kind of a hard deadline for this next stimulus package to pass. Well, that March 14th deadline would mean that the stimulus checks would be passed before March 14th. When asked about that and whether or not the next stimulus package will be passed, Nancy Pelosi said, absolutely, without a question, before then. Well, Nancy Pelosi has said a lot of things before that haven't happened, but it does sound like she is confident that they will be able to get a stimulus package done before March 14th. If it does happen before March 14th, then checks could go out. If they can fast track those checks, kind of like they did on the $600 stimulus checks from December, then stimulus checks could go out soon thereafter, within like a week or so. But it does look like best case scenario is kind of mid-March, and worst case scenario is if a deal passes by the end of March, then early in April or sometime before the middle of April, the stimulus checks would start going out. Let me know in the comments section below if you have any questions. Thank you once again for watching, and once again, thank you all you subscribers. That's awesome that we hit 80,000 subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe. And if you find this content helpful, hit the like button. I do really appreciate it if you hit that. It does help share my videos to others like you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again soon.